Yeah, it was a good win for us back at home. Came out the first half, looking for maybe a little bit of that confidence. I thought second half we played much more aggressively, at both ends of the floor, and taking care of home court again, and that was what we had to do. And I got another one tomorrow night with Valparaiso.
Liam's growth has been pretty consistent this season. How do you want him to continue over these last few before tournament time?
Yeah, we need him to continue to make his impact at both ends of the floor. He's done a nice job all year for us, and now we're going to really need him to take another step as we close out the conference race and go into the Arch Madness down in St. Louis. But he's been terrific for us all year, and hopefully that'll continue.
Do you look ahead at all at your schedule with that finale being UNI? Obviously your focus is this week, but I mean, does that stick out, excite you much, having that be the season finale, having UNI in town?
Well, I think it's for us right now. It's I know the 4 games we have left. I know how important they all are, and you want that last game to have some meaning to it. From our standpoint, in terms of the seeding that you get down in St. Louis. So, it'll be a great game for us. It's on national television and an in-state rivalry game. So certainly it will be one that will be exciting for fans and both teams to play their regular season finale.
I think when we think of Anthony's his athleticism maybe comes to mind top of the head, but with his game on Sunday, is it nice to just maybe get a game like that every now and again from a guy that's not necessarily putting up crazy numbers?
Yeah, I thought Anthony played probably his most complete game of the year. You get 20 points and 13 rebounds. You did something right. And, for him, a senior, he wants to end his career well, and he played like a senior, and that's what we're going to need him to do down the stretch as well. And that's been our challenge for all of our guys, is just find that extra that you have left in the tank and help us make a run here late.
Yeah, just in general, is that something you kind of hope for as a coach, to maybe have those types of games that maybe one night it's DJ, maybe another night it's Jonah, that kind of thing?
Yeah, certainly. It always helps to get maybe that big boost from a guy that's averaging 8 to 10, and you get you 20 one night, and we have several guys that can do that on the roster, and that's kind of what it takes to kind of put a string together, is just get 1 or 2 guys each night that gives you something a little more than what they've been doing all year, and then get the guys that have been performing at a really high level for most of the season and continue to do what they're doing, and then you can get hot, and that's what you see this time of year.
Is it bizarre to think you only have 4 games left in the regular season?
It is. I think every coach would tell you, like, it goes fast, and you're just so focused in on each game that all of a sudden it's March, and there you are. But 2 home games left for our seniors and 2 road games in between it. So it's certainly been a fun year, and looking forward to hopefully a nice little finish for us on the win side of things.
How much does Garrett impact the program? I mean, he's just so fundamentally sound, reliable. Like, he's kind of the player that I would imagine as a coach you love that kind of guy. Like, what has he kind of meant for this team?
Yeah, Garrett just does so many of those things you're talking about that aren't always on a stat sheet, but some nights he'll get you 18 points. The next night he'll have 4 points, but he'll have 2 steals, took 2 charges and won you the game. And that's just that's what I love about him. And he doesn't care what his role is. He just wants to win. That's his only priority every night he goes out, every day in practice. That's just the type of mentality he brings to the table. So, we're lucky to have him and love what he does for us.
How much of a student of the game is Garrett? I mean, is he in watching film a lot? He seems to just have great awareness on the court for when to make those sneaky back cuts, that kind of stuff.
Well, he's always telling me where everybody's supposed to be. So that's, he really understands it. I can stick him in there 1 through 5, and he can go play the position. And we do that a lot, actually. He'll just flip with somebody because they don't know exactly how to play, the 3 spot or 4 spot. So he'll just play their spot for them and put them where they're comfortable. And that's certainly a great quality to have, a guy like that out on the floor that can direct traffic for you. And again, that's just another one of those things that don't show up on a stat sheet that he brings to our team.
How big is it keeping Liam out of foul trouble moving down this home stretch? Obviously, you don't want to have to play 5 small, but if you have to, I mean, it can be tough in this league.
Yeah, keeping him out of foul trouble is a big deal, because the other day we broke out a 6'3" and under game, for a few minutes. I mean, he's valuable to us. We got to keep him on the floor. Just his presence at both ends is certainly impacts what we're trying to do to try to get a win, and he's just that valuable to us.
With you and I losing to Loyola and home stretch here, how big is momentum going into Arch Madness? Because it feels like anybody can beat anybody in this conference right now.
Yeah, I really think it's completely wide open. For us, the main goal of being tied for fifth is you're trying to avoid the playing game just because it's an extra game. Not that it can't be done. It just makes the job more difficult. So, we have a huge one with Valparaiso tomorrow night. We're both tied in the standings for fifth place, and one team moves to 8 and 7, one to 7 and 8, and there's a big gap in where you're at in the standings after that game.
What do you think you can gain the most from these upcoming 2 weeks and, just being, I guess, that much more ready for St. Louis?
Yeah, biggest thing for us is just defensively. We've got to get better. We kind of lost our way the last couple of weeks at the defensive end of the floor, and for us to do what we want to do to finish out the regular season and into Arch Madness, we just got to be better defensively. I really like the way the offense has been playing, so we got to put both ends of the floor together if we have any aspirations of playing in the NCAA tournament.
Is March the best time of year as a basketball fan, coach, player?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's an exciting time for everybody, because you get to those conference tournaments and it doesn't matter really what has happened the previous 30 games. It's what you do for those 3 or 4 days. And even as you wind down the regular season, just the urgency into each game, it just goes up a notch because you know exactly what you're playing for with each game the closer it gets to the end of the regular season.
Did last year's experience help this team, you think, in this home stretch here?
Yeah, I think so. I thought we were playing our best basketball of the year last year to finish up the regular season. I know our guys understand what St. Louis is as well, and the environment that comes with that. So they're excited for the final stretch. They're excited to get to postseason play and see what they can do.
We're definitely I guess we're very focused right now would be the word for it. We're just very locked in. We have 4 games left. We have one tomorrow against Valpo, and then we go to Illinois State, then Loyola, and then UNI here. And UNI we saw they're making kind of national news there, with their rankings and stuff. So we got 4 tough games. None of them are gonna be easy, but we're confident we can come out here and run the table. And we've kind of been inconsistent up until this point, 7-7 and stuff like that, which, isn't terrible, but, we think we had, the players to be better. So we're just kind of locked in. We're we can run the table and still make this, a good setup for Arch Madness.
How important is it avoiding that playing game, so to speak, that first night?
It's very important. Coach DeVries, he kind of let us know, he's no one's won all 4. No one's ever done that. And so to just avoid Thursday night is, it's hard enough to win 3. Don't make yourself have to play 4. So just getting into that Friday game and avoiding playing is huge.
That's something you guys have been talking about a little bit.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, there's right now I believe it's a 4-way tie with us, Valpo, Missouri State, and Indiana State, all 7-7. So we're all kind of fighting to stay out Thursday night. So each game is important and it's going to be a battle. So that's kind of what we're focused in on.
When you see Loyola beating UNI, does that just kind of reiterate the point that this is wide open for the taking? Once you do get into St. Louis.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing with the Valley. Illinois State, they don't have necessarily the best record, but they beat UNI to start the year. The Valley, it does run deep, as they say, and stuff like that. So it's anyone's tournament, and that's kind of why it's so important not to play Thursday night, just to have that one last game and stuff like that. So you can try and be as fresh as possible for that tournament.
Coach was talking about the defensive end, obviously 80 on Sunday, giving up. What do you guys need to do to maybe bring that number down a touch?
I just have more toughness, on ball defense and stuff like that all around. Just really making sure that the other team they can't get to their spots. That's kind of we've been letting guys kind of get. It's not like we're giving up easy shots, but they've never been uncomfortable is what we're saying. So if we can make them uncomfortable, a lot of those shots that have been falling that are considered tough shots won't go in.
We talked last week about rebuilding a little bit of confidence, and Darren was saying the first half of that game against Evansville, maybe you're still looking for that a little bit. Do you feel like as that game unfolded, maybe that started to kind of grow a little bit, or how do you feel?
Definitely. I think just, you know, with Evansville, like, you know, we were trying, I mean, like, you know, we came off one with Missouri State. We were just kind of like, almost like a little foggy, just kind of still like you try and forget about the last game, but it still was lingering a little bit. You know, they're hitting some tough shots so like it was kind of like, but then, you know, I think the biggest difference was, you know, Tone. He came out that second half just like, you know, like in the halftime, he's like, you know, he's kind of like the captain of our team, and he was just like, hey, like let's get this, and he just attacked, and he had a great night, 20 and 13. He just like really stepped up for us. I think that was big for us going forward, is just having him, like our senior kind of leader, just take over.
How big is it for you to stay out of foul trouble for defensive purposes, just lineup purposes, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice, like when I'm able to stay out of foul trouble. I've been trying to be better this year than I was last year, because obviously we have McGlynn. Yeah, it's just important, just because, like, you know, you never know what happens at the end of the games. You have to foul or something like that, and you just don't want to have four, and then you have to make a play, and then you get called for a foul, and then so it's important to stay out of foul trouble more for long term, just so if like, you know, coach needs me to play, like I'm able to play. It's not like, oh, we can't play him because he's got four and, you know, there's 7 minutes left. So like it's a very important thing.
How frustrating was the start of this season, and how much have you grown since it?
It wasn't necessarily frustrating for me. It was more just kind of like, you know, Coach DeVries did like a good job, and like Coach Marty, like, you know, they're like, listen, like we know what you want to do, like this, and we know like what you can do, but like it's not going to happen as easy as you think, and like so like, and that's kind of what I've talked about, is like Coach DeVries, especially, like his confidence never wavered in me. Like I went like 1 for 10, you know, 1 for 20. Like he'd just be like, you're good. He's like, don't worry about it. Like, and like that was just a big thing. He's like, don't get frustrated with yourself, because like he's like, you're only a sophomore. Like remember that. Like you keep growing and stuff like that. So like that's been big. Is like never been frustrating. Just understanding it's a process, and like, you know, just as long as I keep trying to get better and having that growth mindset he talks about, like it'll come around.